The SR-71 Blackbird has always been wrapped in mystery, awe, and the kind of respect only a few aircraft in history ever achieved. Imagine a plane so fast and so high-flying that it could literally outrun missiles and disappear beyond the reach of enemy defenses before radar operators could even react. Now, decades after its retirement in the late 1990s, the Blackbird still lives in the imagination of military analysts and aviation enthusiasts alike. But in 2025, the fascination with this legendary reconnaissance aircraft has not faded. In fact, it has only grown stronger. People continue to ask, what if the SR-71 had been upgraded with today's technologies? Could its performance still outclass even the most advanced drones and satellites of the modern era? This very question is what makes the Blackbird not just a relic of the Cold War but a timeless symbol of engineering excellence and strategic dominance. The hook lies in its unmatched record, never shot down, never intercepted, and always ahead of its time. So in today's video, let's dive deep into the specifications, technological marvels, and imagine modern upgrades of the SR-71 Blackbird, exploring how this aircraft continues to capture attention and why, even in 2025, it is considered the benchmark of aerial reconnaissance. To understand why the SR-71 Blackbird remains iconic in 2025, we need to revisit its core specifications. The aircraft was built primarily from titanium, a material chosen to withstand the extreme heat generated at speeds exceeding Mach 3. Flying at altitudes of over 85,000 feet, the Blackbird cruised in a realm where commercial airliners and even most military aircraft could not operate. Powered by two Pratt & Whitney J58 turbojet engines, the SR-71 was more than just fast, it was revolutionary in how those engines functioned, effectively blending the characteristics of a turbojet and a ramjet. This allowed it to cruise at supersonic speeds for extended durations without the catastrophic wear and tear that would cripple other designs. The Blackbird was not armed with missiles or guns, because it didn't need them. Its weapon was speed and altitude. If radar sites detected it, by the time surface-to-air missiles were fired, the SR-71 had already moved out of range. It was a ghost in the sky, untouchable and unrivaled, making it the ultimate spy plane during the Cold War era. Even by today's standards, no aircraft has matched its unique combination of speed, altitude, and endurance in manned reconnaissance. Now let's imagine the Blackbird with 2025 technology upgrades. Avionics have advanced exponentially, with modern sensor suites capable of real-time data relay via encrypted satellite communication. Instead of relying on traditional wet film cameras, as it once did, a 2025 upgraded SR-71 could be fitted with high-resolution digital imaging systems, synthetic aperture radar capable of penetrating clouds and foliage, and infrared scanners sensitive enough to detect the heat signature of vehicles from hundreds of miles away. Add in today's stealth coatings, radar-absorbing materials, and active electronic countermeasure pods, and suddenly the Blackbird is not just fast, it becomes a nearly invisible hunter in the sky. Imagine pairing that with artificial intelligence-powered mission systems, allowing it to autonomously chart optimal flight paths, evade threats, and deliver intelligence in real time. In this vision of 2025, the SR-71 would not only outpace threats but also outsmart them, combining raw physical speed with digital dominance. Such an aircraft, if deployed, could rival even the most advanced satellites, providing flexible, immediate reconnaissance without the vulnerabilities of orbital assets. But here's where the conversation gets interesting. In 2025, the world has shifted toward unmanned aerial vehicles, or drones, as the centerpiece of reconnaissance and surveillance. Critics might argue that the SR-71, despite its speed, would be outdated in the era of long-endurance UAVs and low-Earth orbit satellites. However, the Blackbird offers something drones and satellites cannot: immediate response, survivability in contested airspace, and the psychological factor of an aircraft that can show up unannounced in the skies above any nation, collect its data, and disappear before anyone has a chance to react. The deterrence effect alone is priceless. Moreover, drones are vulnerable to jamming and hacking, while satellites can be targeted by anti-satellite weapons. A modernized SR-71, with its unmatched mobility, could bypass those vulnerabilities entirely. Its ability to reposition quickly across global hotspots gives it a flexibility that drones and satellites lack. So while unmanned systems dominate much of the military conversation today, the Blackbird's concept of high-speed, manned reconnaissance still holds strategic value even in 2025. As we close this deep dive, the question we must ask ourselves is not whether the SR-71 Blackbird could still perform in 2025, it absolutely could, but rather, whether the world still needs such an aircraft. With new threats like hypersonic missiles, cyber warfare, and advanced air defense systems, would even a modernized Blackbird remain untouchable? Or would it serve more as a symbol of technological audacity than a practical warfighter? One thing is certain, the legacy of the SR-71 endures because it represents human ingenuity at its peak, when engineers dared to push the limits of speed, altitude, and endurance in ways no one else could replicate. In the comments below, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think a modernized SR-71 would still dominate the skies, or has the future already moved on to drones, satellites, and hypersonic platforms? Let's spark a discussion, because the debate about the Blackbird's relevance in 2025 is just as fascinating as the aircraft itself.